Hey,
Hello there.
hey Jerome.
You sit
How are
on the
you?
bed today?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the bed. So I found this little window here. So I hope you can see me. Can you see me
I
clearly?
can see you
Should I go
clear.
back?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I can see you.
good.
I can see you. What made you move us to the bedroom?
I was at the library and then I thought like, okay, I can get a room there. But then for some reason I started driving like 10 minutes before our meeting. So then I thought, okay, let me just go because the living room is occupied. So I thought I can be just in my
Uh,
room.
It's all right. I don't mind the bedroom.
Yeah, it's cozy here, no worries.
Yeah.
So how are you?
You saw how she did that? You saw- So I forgot you are driving again. Yeah.
Yeah, finally, oh my God. Like I was without a car or without a driving license for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like almost a month.
Mm-hmm. A month without your license? Is that a
Hmm.
record?
I guess so. I don't really care for driving, to be honest with you. I have been just a passenger for like 5 years intentionally. Like
Mm-hmm.
even I even pretended like I couldn't drive, so people wouldn't say like drive me here and drive me there. I pretended like I don't drive, so I can just read and sit in the back seat.
Mm. So like you're saying people wanted you to drive them?
I guess when once people if they know you have a driver's license, it's easy for people to just say like, hey, just take the wheel, or you drive here, you do this, or you do that. So when I came to California, I was like, this area here, I don't want to be driving. So I pretended to not be able to drive for almost 5 years.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
It was nice. I was a professional passenger.
Professional passenger. Man, professional. I like that. You're like, I'm not Lyft, I'm not Uber,
I
you know?
was using them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's different in Minnesota though, right?
Here it's small. You think like you're the only person on the road. It's just tiny. The roads are, yeah, not many cars, so it's nice.
Hmm. Hmm. And when you've been walking, has it been frosty?
It's frosty, but it's actually nice.
Okay. Okay.
It's really nice.
Why do you say it reminds you of Norway?
I guess the trees, the houses, everything is built of like wood. Like the houses are not like concrete. In California, it's more like concrete.
Hmm.
Here is more like the same style as Norway. You see more houses than apartments, which I'm used to.
Hmm.
And the climate is the same. The only thing that's missing is the mountains. If I
Mm.
had the mountains here, I would think I'm in Norway.
So it's more flat.
It is very, very flat.
Okay. Okay. So you don't have those peaks and valleys. You don't have those mountains to go to.
Yeah, I used to take that for granted as a kid. I never valued any mountain, even though I was always in the mountains, I would hike and everything, but I never valued. I just used to think that the whole world looks like this.
Oh, so when you say you were always in the mountains, but you never valued the mountains, you're saying like you just thought there were mountains everywhere.
I just thought like, okay, what is pretty about this? It's just a mountain, you know? What's so pretty about it?
Mm.
It's like, what's so pretty about this nature? It's just nature. Until I came to California and I saw trees that look like Halloween decoration. I
Mm.
mean, like literally Halloween decoration, they would have this spider web around them. And it's like, what happened to that tree? It's not Halloween yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have beautiful nature
So
there.
is it that when you no longer have the beauty, like the majesty of nature, when you no longer have the beauty, then you miss the beauty? Like you think you take the beauty for granted when you no longer have it?
I guess you just don't know what you have until you lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. How does that kind of relate to the natural state? you know, because this is what your fourth day. You've gone like 3.5 days already, right? So how does that relate to the natural state with what we don't know what we have until we lose it?
How that is related to the natural state? I guess, I like to be empty all the time. So I can't say like, I was full and I emptied myself somehow, So I, I don't know. I just feel like if I eat anything, if I drink anything, that's not it.
Like what I mean is there a beauty that you feel or that you sense or that you
Oh,
witness
I
in the
see.
natural state that makes you appreciate it and realize, oh wow, I took this for granted?
Hmm. Something that reveals when I am in my natural state that I take for granted.
Yes.
Not really. It would be silence. Like I feel like when I drink and I entertain something, I'm more talkative. I am I'm more distracted somehow. I feel like I give attention to everything. While when I am in my natural state, it's like I can just sit back, observe, and things are just happening. So that's the only difference that I see. And yeah,
That's the only
I don't,
difference.
yeah, somehow that's the only difference. Like I have more energy when I'm in my natural state. I'm more flexible. Um, I can go on doing something like I was massaging my sister yesterday, and she would say like, I don't want to make you tired. Oh my God, like your hands must be hurting. I had her leg on top of my knee here, and then she would say, "Oh my God, my leg is too heavy for you." Things like that. I was like, I don't even register that. Like I'm not tired. My hands are not tired. My leg is not tired, and I'm not tired. Like I can keep on going this and doing this. And she was just looking at me. What do you mean? You must be tired now. And I'm like, no, let's loosen up these knots. So,
There was no pain in the body.
no, I didn't have enough pain in my body. It wasn't like I get exhausted or anything like that, not at all. But if I consume juice, like I told her, like, know the differences. You give me a smoothie or you give me a juice, and I will not even come near you. It's not like, okay, let me massage you, anything. It's just, I don't feel like it. I'm tired.
Wow.
So I told her, only when I'm empty will I do you a service, like this. And I get it.
Mhm. So what would you say is, if you have the allure, if you feel like, okay, when you're empty, you feel this way, you feel no pain, you have all this energy, you don't go to sleep, you stay up all night,
Hmm.
you're doing all these things, why wouldn't you just stay there? Why would you go back?
It's just a human nature. I think it's just like, like I said, entertain.
Mhm.
So it's not like I'm not seeking anything. I know exactly what's going on. I know if I go and drink some juices, I know that that's going to decrease my energy. I know that's going to do something with my consciousness. It's like it puts kind of like something over me that I'm feeling like, I'm not myself at
Hmm.
all when I'm consuming something. And I know all of those things, I just do it anyway. Just for the fact to just do it, really. I don't have anywhere in me that feels like I need that. I'm just
Hmm.
entertaining, yeah.
So you got grapes coming this time. The grapes are coming. So
Hmm.
you're gonna be on a grape mono, but it's just for entertainment.
Hmm. Absolutely. It's just for entertainment. It's not like I'm not seeking anything in the grapes. I'm not thinking like the group's going to give me something that I don't already have. It's just that I'm entertaining that particular fruit this month. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So almost like a new book that you're reading, or a new TV show you want to watch, or a new thing that you want to entertain yourself with for the moment. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like the food is fulfilling me. I don't have any beliefs around that. I don't think the grape's gonna do anything magical. I don't really think so. I just know that okay, I want to do grapes. That's it. That's it.
Okay. 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 What did you end up doing last night when you couldn't go to sleep?
Um, I try to read, try to work out, start cleaning. I did a lot of things.
Because when you say you tried, what do you mean you tried?
You know, sometimes when you have so much energy and you want to do too many things at the same time, uh, sometimes you can get in this mode of like, okay, let me just do this particular thing. I will be maybe crafting something and I will be working on that. And that's the only thing I'm doing. That's better than like feeling like, oh, I want to write, I want to read, I want to jump, I want to sit, I want to do all of that. So when I feel like that kind of energy, that my energy is bouncing back and forth, when I end up reading a little bit or writing a little bit, I call it try.
Okay. So it's almost like you have all these tabs open on your Windows, like
Hmm.
on the computer with like multiple tabs, and you like, let me click on this tab, click on this tab, click on this, but it's like they're all open at the same time, and you can't really just bring it down to one.
Hmm. Exactly.
Does that does that ever get frustrating to want to do everything but can't stay doing anything?
It is very frustrating, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, I'm entertaining different windows, so what? It's okay. I don't hang on too much on it. It's like, okay, I open this window, this window. We may not know what we did in that window, but it doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Because when someone feels like they can't go to sleep, and we've heard this, you've heard this, Nabiha,
Hmm.
they will label it insomnia.
I know.
And they'll say like, oh, I have to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep. Let me take some NyQuil, or let me take some Benadryl, or let me take some, some melatonin, or, let me put myself down so that I can get some rest. But how do you see about that? Like when people say insomnia, I'm restless, and they label that, what do you think about that?
No, I'm against all labeling, to be honest. It's like you claim it's something, you make it your own, right? I think it's okay if you can't sleep, you just can't sleep. You know, when you make something out of it, that's when you create the problem. But if you can't sleep, then do something else with that energy.
Right.
Do something else with that energy. But to call it like or diagnose yourself, it's just going to create the problem, really. Or taking any substances or something like that just to for you to collapse, like that doesn't even make sense. You don't need anything. If your body's telling you stay up, stay up. When it tells you to go down, go down. It's fine. We have to listen to it. But people like to diagnose themselves because that's an excuse for whatever. Like, oh, I have this. That's why I'm like this.
Mm. Yeah, the way you say it is so simple and plain. It's almost like a Zen teaching,
Hmm.
when you want to do this, do that. When you feel like you want to do this, do this. Like, let it come, let it go. Whatever happens, happens. Don't fight it. Like, don't fight.
Yeah. It's in the resistance that the problem happens. If you stay up and you think about, oh my God, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up, I'm up all night, you wasted your time. Why didn't you just focus on something creative? Why wouldn't you do the things that you do during the day, for example? Maybe you have a job to do like in the morning, finish it at night. Make it easier for yourself. Like don't focus on the night and day. It's just a concept that we created. It really isn't like something that we should live after. It's just like you have to learn how to rest your body and give your brain a break, but we're not supposed to collapse and die every night.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
No,
E-
I wasn't saying anything.
Even the sensation, or even the thought of wanting to go to sleep so bad, and you can't go to sleep, and you're really just adjusting the pillow, and you're trying to get to sleep. like that frustration can keep you away
Yeah.
longer. It can keep you away much longer.
Mhm. It does.
But you're saying if you have the energy, you might as well do something with the energy.
Use it.
Okay.
Yeah, just use it. It doesn't make now you're using it on
Mm.
worry, right? It's the same energy that's being used, right? So instead of like worrying about, oh my God, why am I not sleeping? What's wrong with me? Maybe I need to go to a doctor. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe I need to do that. That's an energy that you're using. Why don't you go and clean up your kitchen? Why don't you clean up things? Just do something, right? So do something useful that's going to make your day better, tomorrow, right? And if you feel like tired tomorrow in the morning, just go to sleep. It doesn't mean just because of the sun is out, you have to be up. You see the concept, like, oh, the sun goes down, so the sun is up somewhere else. It never goes down, it's somewhere else.
The sun is up somewhere, right? Say that in the like if somebody comes in a bar really early
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, you drinking this early? You already drinking?" He's like, "It's 5 o'clock somewhere," right?
See
Like
excuses, yeah.
it's happy hour somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So you're saying, hey, even if you're up at night, the sun is up somewhere. You're like, it doesn't have to be up where you
Yeah,
are for you to be down. Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Cause what?
No, I mean, like, if I travel from Norway and I come, let's say, like, I travel Tuesday morning from Norway, I'll just come here Tuesday the same time, right? Does it mean like that night it's over, or does it mean like now I have to sleep because when it's day here, when it's night here, it's night, no, it's day over there,
Mm,
right? So I have to just conform to the new
mm,
rules. So I have to teach my body the new rules.
mm.
So it's like we're following this concept, but it doesn't mean like your body needs to shut down. Why is it not shutting down when it's like night in Norway? It's night in Norway right now, right?
Hmm. So you had to teach
Like, hmm?
your body.
Yeah, you have to teach your body to, adjust to everything. So when you're tired and you feel like, okay, I'm feeling tired and it's during the day, I can't sleep because it's not night. Now you're forcing something.
Hmm.
Or when you say at night, oh my God, I'm off. I can't be out because I'm supposed to be dead. No, like sleeping is like dead to me.
And
Yeah.
isn't there also like, would you ever say there's a feeling of loneliness that a person might have whenever they find themselves awake and everyone around them is sleeping? Like a person who's not accustomed to being so awake when it feels like the rest of the world around them is down, you know?
Mm.
Is there a feeling like, oh, I'm the only one awake? Something's wrong.
Hmm. Um, I would think something is right with me if everybody was sleeping and I was awake. Like I think that way, you know? But yes, it's a lot of people that would say everybody sleeps at night, but I can't. I'm a day person or a night person. That's what they call themselves, different things,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, a lot of people think it's something serious wrong with them if they don't sleep and everybody else can. Why can I not? You know? But it's just you're not everybody. And everybody is not you. You need to accept that and it's okay. Like as long as you don't feel like cuckoo crazy or something like that and your brain is like, the wires are just going wild, you're good. You're fine.
Hmm.
Just rest the brain. It's not even the body. To me, it's not even the body. It's it's the mind. Because the mind is calculating everything all day. It's capturing every color, that tree, that person walking there, the dog, you here. My mind is capturing all of that. So it's constantly working. So it's easier to know that, okay, hey, since my mind been working so long, why can I not rest it? Do you have to die to rest your mind? No, I don't think so. But the reason why we all collapse is because of like reality just becomes too much. And then we just learn how to just sign out. We're out.
Mm. We log out, huh?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I was watching my little niece last night because she was in my room. She was sleeping on the corner, but she was out. And she's the most alert person I know. You know, I play around with her all day. But just seeing her like out, that was scary. Yeah, she was out. She was just sleeping. But then I was thinking, oh my God, we really go out.
Why was that scary?
It's scary because I don't really think we're supposed to just completely just go out like that. I don't think so. You know, have you seen all the animals in the jungle everywhere? Every animal, even the pets. You will never see one that's collapsed and just out. Never. They always alert you. You walk by them, they get up. You know, it's like they're resting the mind. It's like on a charge, but it's not completely dead. So we wait
Mm-hmm.
until our charge is like done, and then the phone is dead. That's how we wait. That's how I feel like sleep is. So everybody's like, oh, I want to be knocked out. You can't just lay down, close your eyes, just charge. Just
Mm-hmm.
charge. That's enough. That's enough.
Thank you for saying that because, I have to tell you, Nabiha, when I remember when I was going the long stretch, like the long days in the natural
Mm-hmm.
state, the free, the first time that I started doing it, I was in a studio apartment in downtown Los Angeles. And there was like 8 of us. It was a room full of bunk beds in this guy's apartment. It was like a yoga guy
Mm-hmm.
studio. Just had us in there, and for the life of me, like I would be up all night long until maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, and I would just be pacing back and forth. I felt like a
Mm-hmm.
vampire. Like, have you ever seen those movies where they're just up at night? I felt like that. I was walking back because that's what I seen the monks do. The monks, they could have a minimal space, but they would still get their steps in. You could still get like 5,000, 10,000 steps, even just going from here to there, just pacing back and forth. So that's what I was doing. I was reading my book in this studio apartment, walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? And I'm going crazy because I'm like, I should be tired. Why am I not tired, right? It was just racking my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the sleep would set in maybe like 3 in the morning. I'd go to sleep, and then I would wake up at like 6:30, and my body would be ready to go. And I'd look at the clock. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. So it was like, it was really a
Mm-hmm.
shock, a shock to my mind just to understand that, yeah, when the battery's charged, it's charged. You don't need to stay down. You don't need to collapse, as you
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
You continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if we all learn that we can just 3 hours is enough. 3 hours of just charging. Like you need to know your battery, and also depends on like where you have used your battery, right? Your energy. Like depending on like where I go, who I interact with, what kind of like activities I do throughout the day, what I have read. All of that depends on like my energy. So if I have been in like a large crowds and I feel like I've given so much energy out, it takes me longer to, I maybe need to be in like a longer meditations, and I need to be in a longer resting mode in order for me to charge up the battery again. But
Okay.
have you seen people that sleep for like 13 hours and they wake up very tired? Very, very tired. Yeah. So they never put themselves in the charger. The phone was just dead and they came back to life again. Do you remember like old phones? Like you didn't have to charge, you just take out the battery, and then sometimes when you put it back, it would start up again, just like that. So when you just
Well,
collapse, you're not charging.
mm,
You're not charging. But it's like it gives you a little bit of energy, like you giving like you stay away from everything kind of, and you're like in a different world. But it gives you like very little, like when you put back the batteries on the phone, it's not like it's fully charged or anything like that. It will give you a little time only. It's the same thing with the body. So that's why people wake up and they want coffee or they want matcha or whatever that keeps them up, you know. I'm like, why did you even sleep if you want to keep yourself up? Like, it doesn't even make sense. So that's why it's so important to just charge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Charge.
This is important. You know, you said that there were some instances where your voice went out, like you didn't have your voice.
Mhm.
And you gave the reason for that, like your body was kind of rearranging things, or maybe it was like healing thing or detoxing thing. What was your reason for your voice? Because it's back now.
Yeah, it's always the third day. I've noticed the third day I'm like gone. And sometimes it happens also like the sixth day. Um, so I feel that the body detoxes, right? For some people, it takes longer depending on what they need to detox. But it's like your body is like squeezing out everything. Yeah, it's like squeezing out. So I feel like when it's squeezed out the last drop, that's when I feel like, dryness in my throat, and I can feel like, oh my God, I'm more tired. What should I do? But then if I just pass that, it's the mind that's entertaining this whole thing that's going on. So if I've had moments where I'm like, oh my God, just let's take a water, just drink something, because now I've lost my voice completely. And I do drink and it's still the same, you know? So it didn't work. So then I've noticed that if I just continue, it's just a detox phase. So when I continue, it just comes back again, and then the energy rebuilds again. Because now my body is like in a new engine. It's a new energy that's taken place. So it's like, okay, now we're empty, let's start the engine, right? Uh, all the time, like the first 2 days is just working on detoxing. Whatever that I have inside of me, it's just working on detoxing that. And then when that is empty, my engine starts. And that's when I feel like more energy and more energized, and I can do more things. So
Okay.
you see my voice is
Say
back. I said
again.
my voice is back. You see that?
Yes. Yes, it's back now. So you're saying the engine revs up when you continue.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
go through. You have to ride the waves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like your body is empty now, and you feel like, oh my God, I'm about to collapse, right? But it just means that, okay, now we are getting to the second gear, right? So that we live in that, and now we're getting on this gear. So the more you wait, the easier it gets. But if you fall for the illusion of like, oh my God, I need to have something, then you back at square one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start your group on Patreon? You know, when it came to, holding the meetings where you're talking about these topics, and what have you gotten from the meetings so far that you've had with others when you're talking about these things? Because I remember hearing from Haruka and different people that they really enjoyed your sessions.
Yeah, it's like, it's not my session, it's like our meeting.
Mhm.
We all got together. I don't have to be the host. I'll be the one that come up with the idea, and I will provide the space, but it's just a meeting between, different beings. So I think it's important to talk about these topics because we are conditioned in a way that we all think this is what we need, this is what we need to do, I can't sleep, and blah, 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 blah. And it's so many different people out there that think they have to sleep. But while they can use the energy, being creative, because it's a different energy at night. I'm sure you have felt that. It's a different energy that brings up the creativity. So for people to just use that or just have a space where they can feel normal. Okay, if you can't sleep, if it's like, 2 a.m. in Germany, like in Lyon, he joined us on those meetings, and it's always like past 3 a.m. every time he joined. And he's up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he should have like a place where he can go to and talk about those things without people diagnosing him and thinking like, oh my God, you have this or you have that or you have problems and this. Because when we claim to have these problems, that's when we create them, right? So just to have a space where we can talk about sleep versus rest. My intention is for people to know how to rest. And when I say like you don't have to sleep, I don't mean like, hey, just become a vampire and just stay up all night and have these red eyes. That's not what I mean. I mean like you need to learn the differences between rest and sleep. That's what I mean? So if people can come in there and know the differences, then they can charge themselves.
And when you say know the difference between rest and sleep, you're not talking about, are you talking about a subtle difference or a drastic difference when people are thinking about these concepts?
I mean both, because one is that we have the idea of night. For night means like sleep,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's not true. It's just the concept that we have created to function in society. Yeah. It doesn't mean that something is happening out there for you to collapse, you know? It's just the concept that, okay, when you can see things better, that's when we do chores, right? Meaning like work and do different things. And then when it's night, since it's not easy to see things, you can just close your eyes, you know?
You know,
So it's like the concept that we have just created for that, but I don't think it means like, anything for your body. Like, okay, this is when you need to sleep and this is when you need to be up. I think day and night exist for a reason, right? So we're supposed to be active in both. So the concept, people who believe in that concept, and then also people who like to diagnose themselves and have these worries at night, like, oh my god, I can't sleep, something's wrong with me, what should I do? I just called myself a night owl, I call myself this, I have insomnia, blah blah. All of that is like a diseases and something that they are claiming, and once you claim something, you become that, right? So if someone tells you like, hey, you don't have all of that, you okay. If you feel up, stay up. There are some groups that stay up. You can participate in these kind of meetings. You can, be active at night. Then that worries about you diagnosing yourself and claiming all of these, diagnoses would help you somehow. Now you don't think you're crazy. But if you really think about like, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with me, something will be wrong with you.
mm-hmm.
It's this simple, right?
Wow. So when you claim a diagnosis, you're saying you claim a disease.
Mhm. Yeah. Now it's yours. So before it becomes theirs, I just want people to know that, hey, you're not alone. And it's normal. You don't have anything. Don't claim it. Yeah. What is this other thing called? ADHD? Like,
Adehode.
yeah. All
Adehode.
they just claim, people just claim that, oh my God, I have that. The doctor told me that when I was a kid, and I do have it. And I'm like, no, you don't. You just active because you're supposed to be active. We are a living thing. We're not supposed to be this. We're supposed to be active. So just use your energy, utilize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Louisa, you should come to the meeting.
She says she wants to join the meeting. She always says that she will, but something else usually happens. But she loves the Patreon. She says she loves the content.
That's nice. Yeah, I will have to come up with the different activities on my Patreon, but yeah, that's the start. We come together every Saturday and just have a chat.
You know what superpower I had always wanted to have as
Mhm.
well? Night vision.
Oh, you do have it. You just need to exercise it. But if you sleep every night, how are you going to exercise it?
So you can see in the dark?
Yes, you should see in the dark. Like,
I'm saying you can see in the dark.
oh no. I mean, I've always had problems with the dark because I create my own little monsters up in my head. But yeah, I do. I do. Like in the dark, you can see different shapes and
But
different
like
things, and
the boogeyman under the bed,
yeah.
you, you create monsters?
Hmm.
Since
Like there's nothing there because when you put the light on, there's nothing there.
since when did you create monsters like that?
Since I was a kid, I don't think I do it now, but I used to always do that.
Since like the Tooth Fairy and
Since I can remember, like every time the light goes off, there's something in front of me, something around me, something here and there, everywhere.
okay, how did you cope with that as a kid?
I mean, I couldn't put the light back on because I wasn't allowed. And Yeah, I just have to slip through it. Hmm.
So you tried to go to sleep knowing that there was a monster like right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Whoa.
When I open my eyes, it's there, so man, so I just close it. Yeah.
Did you, and you didn't know it wasn't real, or?
Somehow I knew always that I created them, because when I put the light on, like I said, they're not there, right? But yeah, it was like it's right in front of me. Close your eyes, sleep, 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 and you sleep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Like counting sheep, like you're counting, like trying to go to sleep, like okay, it's not there. When you think about one of those monsters that you conjured or that you had in your consciousness, can you describe like what one of them looked like? Like one of my friends, they told me that they saw like in the corner of their room. Have you ever seen that the Looney Tunes? You've seen the Looney Tunes.
Mhm.
There was like with Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and all them, right? The Looney Tunes,
Uh-huh.
like Daffy Duck,
Oh,
Bugs
yes, yes, yes.
Bunny,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Pig, right? So they said that there was a character, like big hairy ball of red hair character, and they used to see it in the corner of the room, just like looking down at them, like a giant ball of red hair, like looking at them in the bed, and it wouldn't go away. And they tried to close their eyes and they tried to go to sleep, but it just stayed there. So did you ever have something like that?
Mine never had colors. Mine never had colors. It's more like a shadow shaped, like a dark shadow shaped in a kind of like a human form.
A human?
They're very very tall, right? So it'd be here and then they would just move. Like like Casper, right? But it's like it's not white, it's black. So it just makes that shape. And I can see that it's tall, there's one moving there, or it's like it can change its shapes because it's like a fluid, you know?
It was shape
Mm-hmm.
shifting. So it was like Casper the Friendly Ghost,
Mm-hmm.
but Casper the Friendly Ghost, Casper is short. Casper is
I
small.
know.
So you're saying it's not small, it's tall.
Yeah. Like, have you seen Aladdin? Aladdin. I don't know how you guys pronounce that.
Aladdin?
Aladdin.
The
Aladdin.
magic
How do you pronounce? Yeah.
Aladdin?
Yes. So the jinn will come out from that little thing, right? That blue jinn.
Mm-hmm.
So the same shape as that jinn when he comes out of there, but just black. That's how my monsters look like.
A black genie in the lamp
Hmm.
would be in your room.
Yeah. Like,
What would it do?
it would change shape, become different monsters.
Did no one believe you?
I guess, as a child, I didn't have these parents that I can go to and tell them, right? So it's like I kept it to myself, and it was always like, okay, I see it close. If I had like parents, like they would let me have the light on, I guess. But no, I would see it and I'll be like, okay, leave it alone. But there were times that this thing would attack me.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean, like not in that kind of sense, but
What do you mean?
like, have you experienced like sleep
Where
paralysis?
you can't move?
Hmm. So then I would have this shadow that I'm talking about come like all the way from there, and then I can feel when it's coming, and then it would just be on top of me, and then I can't move. Like it would sit right next to me, like it's doing something to freeze me, and I'm like, I want to get up, I want to get up, I want to get up, I want to get up. It's there, and when I open my eyes, I see it, but I just can't move. Hmm.
When did it get off of you? Like how did you just have to wait for it to move, for you to move?
I remember I used to say these mantras and all kind of stuff just to get up from it, but it would last for a while until, yeah, it could last so long that until I just give up.
Give
Sometimes you just give up, yeah, like because you up, but you're not
mm,
up. It's like you up, your body is just not up, but you are up.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I am up, but my body's not up.
Whenever I would have that feeling that you're describing of like sleep paralysis, where you can't move your body, it would almost be like I came out of a dream, but I wasn't all the way out. Like my body was still frozen, and it was like I was in an in-between space. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
in between the dream and in between reality, and I was stuck
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't move. And it was so terrifying because you want to move, you can't even move your pinky toe. You're like stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know if you'll ever unfreeze again. You don't know if you're just stuck like that.
Exactly.
So those moments, what was the mantra that you would use?
I mean, at the time, I used to read Quran, right? So they have these little verses that you can say to get entities off of you, right? So I remember going on YouTube and learning this verse over and over and over again just to get out of that. Like you said, if you're in a dream already and you feel like you're stuck in between, that's okay. But the ones that used to happen to me mostly was like before I go to sleep, right? So by the time I'm going to sleep, I feel like I'm falling. Like I want to take myself back again. I'm like falling, and then I boop, fall, and then that thing would just be trapped. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't mean to fall. I didn't mean to like fall. Like, have you ever felt like you're falling when you are falling asleep? They even call it falling asleep. It's it's like I'm on a cliff and now I drop.
Mm,
So in that middle of that falling, that thing will just come.
yeah.
And you don't like I'm thinking like, okay, I want to go back from sleeping. I want to go back from sleeping. I didn't want to be here, but then you're trapped in that.
Mm-mm.
So it's not like that you even like went into a dream state or anything like that. It's just the falling that it catches you.
Mhm.
Hmm.
The falling, we do call it that. Nobody questions why we call it
It is
falling.
falling though because of what I have experienced. It's falling. If just somebody just throw me off of a cliff back like this, that's exactly how it feels like when I'm falling asleep.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
And what was the mantra that you got from the Quran? Like, what was the mantra that, I mean, that helped you in this situation?
It's called Ayatul Kursi. I can send it to you.
Ayatul
Ayatul Kursi. Yeah.
Kursi.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So I can send it to you. So it's basically like protecting yourself from evil spirits or something like that. That you read that.
almost like a spell of protection,
Hmm.
like the recitation of an affirmation that conjures a protective
Hmm.
vibration.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I, I don't believe in it anymore. I no, unless I've written it, I don't believe in it
Hmm.
somehow. It's just because sometimes you don't even know what you're saying.
But you believed in it then, and it
Hmm.
helped you.
I never get me out of it.
No?
No, I used to read it over and over and over again, but that was just like to know that, hey, I am awake. My body's not. Just to get that confirmation, like I am actually awake because of I'm remembering reading it, right? So, but it never took it away. It gave me some comfort because of the meaning behind it and what I was
But,
told. But
but comforted.
yeah, the older I get, I just think like, all these meanings and everything is just made by human beings. So it's not my work. I don't have, that's not, I can't claim it, and I can't, why would I just take it for granted and just say like, okay, this is gonna fix me because if someone else said it. I don't believe in stuff like that.
Hmm.
It's like you can create your own mantra, say it over and over and over again. Mantras are so powerful, but it's like every song. When people sing songs, the artist or the singer would repeat the same chords over and over and over and over and over again into um, that subconscious mind where it just captures it and it says over and over and over again. Now you become that message.
Right.
It's very important to know like what you're saying, especially if you're gonna repeat it.
Right. So, do you feel when you were repeating this mantra during, the the situation where this apparition or this ghost or this, you know, presence was over you, you're in sleep paralysis, you're repeating the mantra, you can't move, you can't go anywhere. Was it just comforting the words themselves, the energy, vibration, or was it just, you know, like a feeling of, like, what was actually giving you comfort?
The concept behind it,
So it
you know.
was the belief in the concept gave you comfort.
Yeah. So when I lost the belief, it's not effective or any, or it's not that it was effective, but I think if you don't believe in something, you know, it won't be just helpful at all. You have to believe in it. Even if they say like, oh, this is going to help you, if you don't believe in it, it's not going to help you.
Wow. Okay, Nabiha. So one of my favorite movies, I don't know if I've ever told you this.
Matrix? I don't know.
No. Well, of course,
Okay.
my top, you know, The Matrix is in my top five, but there's another movie in my top five of all time, and
Mhm.
I've rewatched this movie tons of times. It's called The Skeleton Key. You ever seen that movie? Okay, The Skeleton Key is basically, you know, New Orleans, you know, in the Bayou, Louisiana, you know, and
Oh,
they got the voodoo and the hoodoo, right? The voodoo and the hoodoo magic. And pretty much, you know, the person goes there, and I don't want to really spoil it, but they don't know too much about it. But the more they learn about it, the more they get interested, they get curious, they start to believe. And
mm.
someone said it only works if you believe. She said it doesn't work if you don't believe. And
Yeah.
sure enough, you know, things start to play out, but it was her belief in that concept that everything played out. And it was like, wow, that movie blew me away.
Yeah. There, I think it's a verse in the Quran that also says like, you know, when it comes to cursing and voodoo and stuff like that, it says it exists but do not believe it. It literally just says there. It's like it exists but do not believe it.
But don't believe
Yeah.
it. But it does exist.
Hmm.
But don't believe.
But don't believe it. Because it's like you are aware of it,
Mhm.
right? Don't give too much power to it, right?
Okay.
Because you can go on and say like, oh my God, this person cursed me because of they just did this to my shoes. Now that's why I went into this wrong place. Oh my God, this person did this, and that's why I'm this. You know, if you believe in something, it becomes like yours. But it's the same thing. Whatever you believe really do work.
Okay. So
I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
when you were in that place where you couldn't turn on the lights and you said you had no parents around you, was this the foster home?
Yeah, I've always lived in foster homes, so yeah.
So you're in the foster home and this thing is above you. Do you feel like it only existed because you gave it power
Yeah.
somehow?
The only tool that I had was to unbelieve it. So when I closed my eyes, were like, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. So that's the only tool you have to not believe it, and then it disappears. But just because of I believed that I can see things, shapes in the, like I said, I'm the one creating it. So if I
Mm.
don't believe in it, how would I create it?
Wow.
Yeah.
And how young were you?
This can start from I was like 7. I can
7?
remember, yeah.
And when did it go away? When it never came back?
I mean, I still see some shapes. I just don't believe them.
Aha. Aha.
Yeah, I still see them. It's like they don't have any power over me, you know? Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that the shapes changed. It's not that the creatures changed. It's not that these ghosts or spirits changed. It's you
My
changed.
mind changed. Nothing is going to change around you. You need to change your mind. That's the only time things change, right? It's not like the other way around, like, oh my God, things around me have changed. Now I have to change my mind. No, your mind has to change in order for things to change.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why we can be like in the same situation. I see it differently, you see it differently, because we have two different minds. But it doesn't mean the situation on the outside is determining whatever. But it's like we have two different mindsets. Like looking at this thing, like I see this thing, you see that. Yeah.
You showed me a scene, and it was a powerful scene, Nabiha, where a mother was in the kitchen, and her son, who was blind, was on the floor, and he was kind of screaming for his mother. He was looking for his mother. He couldn't see anything. And even though she was right there, she didn't go to him because she didn't want to like coddle him in that moment. She wanted him to be strong in that moment. And it was almost like she knew that there was one day she wasn't going to be around anymore, and he would have to learn how to stand up on his own, how to protect himself on his own, and how to be strong on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were in this foster home and you're kind of wishing away these spirits, and there was no one around to help you, no one would even believe you, how do you feel it made you stronger to go through that alone?
I mean, I didn't know the difference, because you can only compare if you came from a different side, right? If I came from, if I already had parents that were doing these things and this, then I would say that, oh my God, in the foster home it was different. I had to do it on my own, right? So it didn't feel like alone, or didn't feel like lonely or anything like that. It was just all I knew,
You had nothing
right?
to compare it to.
No, there's nothing to compare to. So it was just, okay, I'm always on my own. So I need to find this, right? So just to, getting rid of my monsters, I couldn't tell anybody. I used to say that I don't sleep. That I remember. Because while I'm hiding from these monsters and I close my eyes, I think my mind is just keep on going. And then the morning arrives. So I never knew if I slept or if I stayed up all night.
Mm.
So I used to claim, like, I never sleep. I don't sleep. And I remember my older brother, foster brother, checked on me one night and he's like, hey, you passed out. You sleep. And that's the only confirmation. But I always thought I never
Mm.
sleep. He was like, oh, I don't sleep. I'm just thinking all night. But I think the reason why, like, the reason why I am who I am today is because of, I had to do those things on my own, just like that blind kid that you said, right? His mother was right there. You could see the pain on her face, like she really just want to help him, right? But then at the same time, she's thinking about the long term, like the day I'm not around, who's going to be there for him? So the only gift you can give him today is like teach him how to be on his own, right? So he would never like listen to the whatever insect he was listening to, because that's his way of finding out things,
The,
right?
the,
Like where is left, where is right, where am I, how am I doing? But if he was always like, Mommy, he would stand still somewhere and never get anywhere because he would just expect her to be there, right? What if she just died tomorrow?
mm.
Who's going to be there for him? So it's more painful for her to not let him be on that journey on his own. So she had to start that early. So yeah.
Can you think of a moment that you might have had that same scenario with Mickey?
Oh, I mean, since I always say like, people say like a kid will, like my sister's husband always says, like, look at Nabiha, nobody raised her. And she's the most polite person, she knows things, and it looks like somebody, a whole, a community have raised her. And I always say that is because I was on my own and I had to learn everything on my own. That my back, yeah, yeah. So I always say that what created me is because of I was on my own and I could do things. I could make decisions on my own. So like for example, when I was 12 years old, I could become a drug addict. I could be a crackhead.
You
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 know.
mean you had the opportunity?
I mean, I was just with older kids. Like at the time I thought they were adults, but they were like 16, 17, 18, 20 max. That's the time everybody was trying out different drugs. I've been in different houses, different parties, but I'm like just 14. Nobody's telling me to come home. Nobody tells me when to shower. Nobody tells me like, okay, hey, you have to stay inside the house this time. I had to make all of those decisions myself. So when I was in the parties, for example, no one would ever tell me like, oh my God, you came home drunk, or you came home this, or you have to do this. I had to just look at them and be like, oh, I don't want to be like that, Like, and I knew always that whoever kid that's going through this, they will go home to mommy and daddy, right? I didn't have that. So I had to always be on a watch, like, okay, no, I can't take this because it made Maria like that. Or I can't do that because Jonas felt like that. And it's like, since I made all of those decisions myself, it made me like a better decision maker when I get older, right? While they depended on their parents and they always knew like, oh, whatever, you go home and you sleep. But when I was 14, I was paying rent. They didn't know, right? So I think what made me was because I was on my own. And I think a lot of people actually need that. The parenting is this, I think it should just be like to a degree, like when you pass 13, you don't have to be parented like that. I really don't think so. Like you should be on your own to figure out things. But even kids will tell you now, like, I'm just a kid. And I'm like, I would never say that. There is no time I used to say, like, I'm just a kid. Because if you acknowledge that you're a kid, then you're not a kid somehow. If you can use that as an excuse, then you're no kid. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I never heard if you said what you would tell Mickey, or if there
Oh,
was a vision. Yeah.
when it comes to Mickey, my kids are like my sister and brothers. Somehow, that's how I treat them. Even though I know, like, sometimes, okay, I'm their parent, but it's always been like, dude, why would I help you with that? Do it on your own.
You
So
you
he,
dude, you would call him dude?
yes,
Dude, what do you want me to do,
I
dude?
can't do that for you. You have to do it on your own. But
Dude.
my job is to teach them how to be independent,
Yeah.
right? Like whatever I can help you with, like that's in my power, I would help you with that, but you better try yourself first, right? So yeah, he can ask me something. I'm like, yeah, like I said, they're like my brothers and sisters.
I can't get over the dude. Like I'm imagining Mickey coming up, mom, can you help me with it? You're like, dude.
Yeah, really.
Dude,
And people will always think like your kids are like your he look at you like a little sister, not even a bigger sister. Yeah, yeah. No, I really let them know to be on their own. Like I told you, like when it comes to sicknesses and stuff like that, they have to fight it through. Now when I'm with my sister, Mickey have asked me like, can I get what is this called, night call or something like that? He can't sleep, right? And then he will come up to my room and go back and forth all day. I'm like, dude, go back to your place.
dude, go back. Dude.
Yeah, because if I take him into my bed and he's 12, if I take him in, I make him feel like, okay, oh my God, you couldn't sleep. I'm so sorry. Come over here. Come and disturb me. If I give him that opportunity, he would just keep on doing it again and again, right? But what I tell him is like, if you can't sleep, just lay there. It doesn't matter. It's okay. And he's like, Mom, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm like, you're just making it worse by thinking about it. So just stop thinking. Leave me alone. I will lock the door. And then he went back. Yeah, he was coming up and down all night. And then my sister's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you? I'm like, that's why all your kids are in the bed. Your bed. If you sleep on the floor, and then the whole kids are on the bed, right? And I'm like, that's why. You have to give them some kind of like independency, like you should be able, if you can't sleep, you let me know. Now I know. Now I know Mickey's out, you know? But it's okay. Read a book. Do something. It's not going to give you sleep if you bother me,
Well,
right?
well,
So, yeah, he knows. He knows. Even though he comes to me, he knows that, okay, it's my mom's just going to say that.
she don't.
Yeah.
Biha don't play that. She don't play that.
If you ask any of my kids if they say, "Oh, I'm sick," they the only thing I tell them is like, "Go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Release the disease." I've always said that. I've always said that. And Hannah would be like, "Oh, you know what mom's going to say anyway, you know?" And it works. It works. Because whatever, have you seen when someone is, what do they call hungover, like when they've been drinking all night and stuff? And or when they have like alcohol poisoning, right? If you just give them something that loosen up their stomach and they go to the bathroom, everything will goes away. Everything will go away, really. It's just in here. Every disease is in here. Yeah.
Wow, you're just like, dude, go release that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like,
get out.
oh, give me this. Yeah, he asked me about night cold that night. I'm like, what is that? And my sister was laughing in the room. I'm like, he was downstairs, like, please just give me this night cold or something like, I don't even know how to pronounce it. But
I
this
know there's Benadryl, there's NyQuil, there's like,
NyQuil, that's what he said. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Just go to sleep. I don't know. I've never even had a cough medicine in my house. Never.
no cough drops, no
Nope.
throat lozenges.
Nope. And you won't see them sick. They don't get sick. They don't get sick. That's because of, the body needs to learn how to fight it for itself. I always used to say that, what if you're like in the middle of the jungle, somewhere else, like far away from hospitals, doctors, all kind of stuff. If you're used to like getting a pill every time you have a headache or every time you have a little pain here and there, you just run to the pill. Like now you are creating a dependency on these drugs, right? So when you go somewhere else, you will seek for that. Your body will not know how to fight it. Your body will not know, how to deal with it. So it's very important to me. Like since my kids were born, I've never given them anything. Really, nothing. Like you can have a running nose, it lasts for one day. If I don't give them anything, it will just last one day. Like their mind don't even register, right? Like, oh, I'm sick, or I'm this, and I'm that, because they never had someone say like, oh my God, you're sick, come over here. Oh my God, my baby is sick. I've never had that, right? Your nose is running, something is up with your system, it's gonna go away. It's gonna go away. Yeah, we don't have to like put some drugs in you in order for your nose to stop running. Just let it be, let it be.
Wow, wow. Let let it be free. So it's like you're also going back to when you said teaching your body, you're allowing their body to function the way it was designed to function.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like it's supposed to. Like anything that you feel on your body, you're not supposed to cover it with something else. The only thing you need from hospitals, if anything, is the tools that they had. Some tools like when you need an ultrasound or something like that, whatever, like tools that they have, but you don't need their drugs. Is a drugstore. Like pharmaceuticals or drugstore. So for you to just go and get some drugs all the time and then get dependent on these drugs, that tells you like this is not it. Your body is supposed to fight everything. Your body's supposed to know like, okay, hey, we got this, how can we get rid of it? Like the body can handle so much diseases and stuff that you put in all the time. It should, recalibrate everything all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wonder like why we aren't amazed by that, why we aren't amazed that we're still alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. After all of that, I'm
Yeah.
amazed every day. Every day I'm watching and I'm like, oh my God, all of that just inside of you. And you just like, now you're moving. It's like whatever information that goes inside of you, that's what you just put out.
That,
That's how you feel.
yeah, that's proof.
Yeah.
That's proof that the body is amazing. I mean, I'm my own proof. I was my own test subject. I've been my own guinea pig in the science lab. Just being the
Yeah.
experiment, and I'm still here. So I know I'm proof that you can survive. Like,
Yes.
some toxin.
Instead of saying like science says this, the
Yeah.
doctor said this, just experiment on yourself. What do you have to
Yeah.
lose? Yeah, experiment on yourself. I think that's what the body is for.
Mm.
And I don't think people can be convinced more than experimenting on themselves. If they see the result, it's like proven,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Nothing is as powerful as your own testimony, you know?
Absolutely.
But it's like you have to have that test before the testimony. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely. I I don't even believe in anything else. Like when someone says like, "Oh, this is what happened," blah 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 blah. Okay, have you experimented on yourself? If you did, yes, then I believe you. You know, if I want to try, that's my choice. But I have my own body to experiment on. I don't have to read from books and think like, okay, this is what this and this is for that. You know, I have a lot of people asking me right now, how much juice do you drink throughout the day? How often and what? Do you really think I care? I really don't. There's no way I will measure how much I drink, how much I do this, unless I'm like in this experiment of experimenting something. But like it's so much other things to do with your body than just measuring how much juice you drink. Really.
mm-hmm.
Like I drink whenever I feel like, and I don't know
Yeah.
what that is.
Whenever the mood
Hmm.
strikes me. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But it could be different for you because of your body is different from me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like when people fixated on like the amount, the quantity of food and this is the mind that needs to change
Mm.
because you don't have to stuff yourself, right? But once you realize that emptiness is the real fullness, that's when you will know like, oh my God, all of this external stuff. That's why I say entertaining, because I know exactly how they make me feel. I know exactly what they're doing to my body, and I know exactly what kind of energy that comes out. So it's like consciously like entertaining that energy, just like people would just go to a party, take a glass of wine or something. They know exactly what that wine is going to do, but they still do it because they entertain in the moment, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So when
Yeah.
people come to you, they think that you're doing little measurements. They think you're doing the milliliters and you're like measuring the juice and you're like, no, I just drink whatever I feel.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because my mind is not even thinking about juice.
Right.
You know, if your mind is thinking about, oh my God, tomorrow I would have this juice, then you need to fix your mind.
Mm.
If you say like, oh, in the morning I just had this much juice and I need to have this, you need to fix your mind. There's none of that. It's like when the juice comes to you, it comes to you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you feel like it, you feel like. If you don't feel like it, you don't feel like it. But there's no measurement like, oh, you have to drink so much throughout the day and do this throughout the day. No. All you need to focus on is eliminate whatever that's within of information, processed food, whatever that's in there. Just know that you're supposed to be an empty vessel all the time, right? Because now, if you're not empty, what are you, right? Or you're the information inside of you because that's what's coming out, and then you don't know who you really are, right? So if I eat like, let's say like I eat a lot of pasta and cheese and this and that, right? Now if I eat all of that, I'm that information.
Mm.
That's not me. You know, now I feel tired, I feel like sick, and fullness, it's kind of like seen as a pleasure for many people, but fullness is not pleasure.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Nabiha, thank
I
you.
can't see the time, by the way, so I didn't know when to end. I can't see the time. It's
Oh,
not showing me on my.
it's all good. It's
Yeah,
all
now it's
this has
time.
been beautiful. This has been beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for all the comments. I could see it today. That was nice. And thank you, Jerome.
Always.
All right.
Always.
See you later. Bye.